Yep, what's good? Alright, so, look, I wasn't actually going to make any video today. I was going to chill out today, but, there's currently a big thunderstorm going on outside right now, and it was crazy, because, like, it was perfect weather, literally an hour ago, but it is what it is, and I'm going to be sitting here, and a lot of my house is plugged out, because, black household shit, I got to plug out everything. But the power's still on to some degree, but I am literally working on borrowed time, so I want to make this video as quick as I can, just to get out some thoughts I got, because it's been about a week, week and a half since, it's been literally a week since Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers dropped, Kendrick Lamar's new album, and I've seen the discourse of this album online. I don't know, this is not really a review, I'm not reviewing the project. And this is not me saying I haven't listened to it. I listened to the project, but this is just more of just kind of like what what my mind is on with this album. Me and my friend were kind of live texting each other while listening to the album, kind of giving our initial reaction. So that's kind of the only script I got for this video today. Just let me see. When I was listening to the album and me and my boy were kind of live texting about it, in my head I'm like, this is every song I liked. You know what I'm saying? I liked every single song on the album. I felt like it was the holy production. The production value of this album was beautiful. Every beat choice felt important. Every word felt important in this project. But I feel like the discourse has been kind of all over the place. Now, one of the things that I've seen, I think a lot of people can describe it. I'm not even going to go on people say, oh, the album's mid, because those are just motherfuckers looking for trolling. You know what I'm saying? Those people just looking for a reply. But honestly, a lot of the project, a lot of times when you get albums, it usually it feels like something. Maybe you feel like, it's like the artist is taking you to a big party, or the artist is taking you through a series of events, or maybe a story from start to finish. This album felt more like a big therapy session from Kendrick Lamar. We're just hearing how he's felt the last 4 or 5 years being away. That's the big ticker. What was he gonna sound like? What was he gonna be like? What was his music style? What was the musical output gonna be like? Being damn near 5 years out of it. And a lot has changed in that music lexicon in those 5 years. I don't know, I don't know if this is really I feel like this is one of those albums that really need a year or two for us to get the real reaction, because every artist has, like I said at the beginning, every artist has the album that kind of separates what people think about it, and you can kind of tell the musical style that people go to lean towards with albums like this and how people discuss them. Kanye, I know people try to compare this album to Kanye's Yeezus album, and I don't think that was really the case. I feel like this is more if this album is Kendrick's The Life of Pablo, and in terms of I feel like that's actually a perfect relation to it. It's just a perfect comparison to it, because I remember when I was listening to The Life of Pablo when I first heard it, it was so much different like anything I've heard, even the more experimental Kanye, but it still was rooted in what we know Kanye as. But this album is a lot of that same feeling. It's clearly a different Kendrick project. This in just musically doesn't feel like an album that he's ever made before, but it feels like an album that would be made by him only. Kanye had The Life of Pablo, Drake had Views, J. Cole had, I guess there's been a lot of discourse around what was that album called? Fuck, I do not remember that. The album with him, the song Deja Vu was off that album. I can't remember the name. For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, For Your Eyes Only. Every artist has that album, and I think this is his. I think another thing that people are a big discourse of this album, oh, there's no hits on this album, then there's not really that album that could just, bump in the whip or whatever the case may be. And I think that's unfair to some of the songs on this album. Clearly, I don't think this is the album that's gonna not really flesh out so much of those hits that could just be played anywhere, while which is very different from Damn, because Damn had a lot of those. But I feel like this particular album had so much. There's so much here, and I think so much that are going to be so much songs are going to be loved in more casual atmosphere, like maybe a year from now. Is like songs like, in my personal opinion, Rich Spirit is the hit. Like I'm surprised that is not talked about more, even though it feels like N95 is the song that's going to be like the hit song off this album. Out of all the songs off this project, I feel like N95 was the most loved, at least on social media. I don't know about everywhere else, but like, at least on social media, specifically Twitter, like N95 was the best. Was probably the best song. Like I know a lot of people really, really liked it. It was weird because I didn't love N95. Like I definitely appreciated it. I thought it was a good song, but I didn't really love N95. In my opinion, I think Rich Spirit is the best. Like in terms of not the best song, but I think it's the most. I think it's just the most easy listen. It's the easiest listen. That and Silent Hill are the most easiest songs to kind of like digest, because surprisingly, Kodak Black did a very good job with his hook, with his verse. Like Kodak Black was actually amazing all throughout the album. Like all his appearances were actually really good. I'm sorry, damn, like I had a flashlight in my eye last couple. Damn, hold on. Fuck. You know what? Screw it. 1 second. I got new glasses this time. Ain't no red shades right now. Oh, please don't tell me I broke. Oh man, did I break these? Schmeg, man, I hope I didn't break them. Aw, no, damn it. Whatever, I think I got it. Alright, we're good. Dang, like, personally, I don't know, like, as I was saying, like, I think all the times that Kodak Black appeared on this, he did a very good job. I hope these are not broken. I love these glasses. But also, like, I think Rich Spirit is the most like easily listened. It has nice bounce to it. Nice little bass to the song. It has nice bounce. Kendrick Lamar is flowing amazingly. I feel like that's one of those songs that really should get a good music video, and it's another song that should get a good feature if they ever do a remix. Because admittedly, it's a very West Coast song. Like I think someone like a my light just flickered. I got scared for a second. Like, admittedly, someone like a Playboy, like, not, well, I was gonna say Playboy Cardi. Why would I think Playboy Cardi would be? Nah, like someone like a Vince Staples or even Baby Keem, and shit, maybe even throwing Brent Faiyaz too. Like, just get a lot of good artists that can also flow with a beat just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be another good. That would be a good addition. Like, I feel like that's the hit. Oh my gosh. Definitely working on Borrowed Time right now. So yeah, like that. Okay, it's album that will probably be good. I also feel like, even though it will be for all the wrong reasons, We Cried Together definitely is going to get some more not radio play, but just spins. It's going to be one of those like cult classic style songs. Like, it's just it's so absurd. And now personally, I think what's working in that favor is that, like, the back and forth tag team kind of like flow. Like, think of like a Ski Mask, Slump God, and XXXTentacion, rest in peace. Think of those two on the Freddy vs. Jason song. Or you could think of Corday and Anderson .Paak on what track was that called? Oh man, how do I not remember? That's one of my favorite songs. RMP, you know what I'm saying? Think of like RMP with Anderson .Paak and Corday, that tag team flow. I feel I personally always have loved that style of rapping. I love that style of rapping when artists do that. It's awesome. So I feel like it's gonna be one of those songs that definitely, and you know, on Spotify right now, at least Spotify, N95 is the song, but like We Cried Together is gonna be more in those cult class that people just kind of like listen to, maybe even just flat out laugh, because the song is just so absurd. And shout out to Taylor Page, because it is not easy to try to go toe to toe with K-Dot in his return album, and she did a fantastic job. So all the credit to her. I feel like another song that's going to get more spins is Silent Hill, obviously, because Kodak Black is the inclusion of Kodak Black. But after that, most of these songs are just more like songs that you're going to be like listening to because there's something that you want to gain from it. there's something, not only does it sound good, but there's something you want to get into, which that's kind of always how I pictured Kendrick. I've never pictured Kendrick as like the hit maker, because out of the big three rappers, between him, Cole, and Drake, I always felt like that Drake was the hit maker. J. Cole was more of the, the guy that was gonna do the best double entendres and the triple entendres and all that type of, and just the freestyle rappers. He's a rapper, if that's the best way to even describe it. While Kendrick Lamar was always going to be the one that's going to tell you the stories. He's going to tell you kind of make you see the bigger picture, and which is what I felt like this whole album was him basically giving you hey, this is what my last 5 years were like. Here it is, and you could tell in certain songs, some of these songs weren't even meant to be spun that way, because they're not really for that, for obviously Auntie Diaries, which I hope that song doesn't get picked apart by memes and by people not listening to the song, because the song is absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic. I personally really like it, and it's also, I saw a lot of people the discourse of it was definitely a song that from first time from a really big artist like that, a big artist like Kendrick Lamar, who has the respect and the talent that Kendrick Lamar has, being able to be one of the first songs to really challenge hip-hop's views on homophobia and transphobia in a certain sense. Those are, obviously there's Lil Nas X and, Jack Harlow, who's been very open in supporting Lil Nas X, but clearly that's the minority. That's not the majority here. And obviously I don't think Lil Nas X, at least for his credit, he's not seen as a rapper. He's seen as more of a pop star. So I don't think that he's not going to really bend. He's not going to really change the minds, because he hasn't earned that respect. Maybe from the core hip hop group. Maybe that's what he wants, but who knows? But Lil Nas X is Lil Nas X. His catalog speaks for himself. But someone like a Kendrick Lamar, he can definitely be the bridge that we can start having those conversations. Not gonna change overnight, and maybe this is not the right song to do it, because boy, he was hearing that slur heavy. Boy was hearing that slur heavy. But I always feel like I get the intent. It's a great concept. I even think it was executed well. I just hope it doesn't get picked apart the wrong way. But honestly, these are one of those. This is the album is where I'm not gonna be so eager to go back and listen to this song or this song or this song. But they're all in playlists, and if it's not, but if I get it and I hear it on a playlist, or I hear someone, if I randomly spin to it, I'll listen to it, and I'm gonna really enjoy it too. Age very well, because admittedly that's a lot of albums are like that. A lot of albums are not really appreciated in the moment. A perfect example is Views. Views was an album that got completely shitted on when it first came out, because it was admittedly so different, but as the time came on and time progressed, I feel like that album definitely had better legs to stand on. Okay, that is starting to freak me out, because I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but that shit is flickering. I look mad icy with these, bro. I might wear these more often. But what else is there? Anything I want to say? Like I said before, all these albums are really they're all songs that I genuinely really enjoy. I enjoyed every, this was not I did not regret spending an hour at midnight listening to this project. I feel like this album is going to be one of those albums that, maybe a couple years from now, maybe a couple months from now, I feel like people are going to really appreciate the greatness, because I feel like on first listen you're going to really take away yeah, this is a good project, but nothing really blew me away. And that was also the case for a lot of these songs. None of these songs really blew me away, but I think that's kind of the reputation that Kendrick Lamar has built. He's built a reputation that you're not going to just always look for those hits. You're not going to look for the hits. You're not going to look for the big heavy knockout song that's going to just take you off your feet. I feel like he's one of those artists that will make you listen to him in a way. Like we don't like. I think. And he's also been not afraid to really explore his sound. Like I think the best takeaway, one of the best things I could say about Kendrick Lamar at this stage of career, that it's so crazy that someone who's as accomplished as he is, as talented as he is, and doesn't really need to do this, as he does not need to really invent his sound anymore. Has taken a real earnest to still improving. And I think I felt that way when I listened to The Heart Part 5, which I'm just gonna blow the whistle on that now. It's my favorite song of 2022 personally. And I heard someone, I think Sean C said it, like, I really liked the album, but I kind of wish The Heart Part 5 was on it, because I think The Heart Part 5 is better than every single song on the album. And I can see why you say that, and part of me kind of agrees with it, even though I like Father Time practically better. I love Father Time, by the way. If you like, I'm just gonna also pull the cat out of the bag now. Father Time is my favorite song on this entire bar. I think the weather's starting to get a little better. I get why people will say that, and I partly agree with it in some sense. Like I think obviously a song like that, like why not put it on the album? It's like I think Heart Part 5 is a straight classic, but man, I actually am happy that Heart Part 5 is not on it, because I feel like that in a sense would have taken away from all the goods that are in this album that I feel like don't get appreciated, because the Heart Part 5 was fantastic, the music video was fantastic, the layout almost was perfect. It was basically a layout of not talking. I think a very interesting thing to say, like I said, another tidbit from We Cried Together, like me and my friends said, this We Cried Together sounds like the Danny Lee and the Baby's phone conversations. But the song is honestly really funny. But I had to put that there. Even though it still stays with what we know Kendrick to be, it's very different in a lot of senses to Kendrick Lamar. And I feel like I'm happy that it took that route, because every artist that takes a different direction with their sound does get criticism, or takes a different direction with their layout does take criticism, because I think a perfect example to me is Joey Badass. When when All American Badass came out, the album's really good. The fuck? Well, like when All American Badass came out, that album was really good. Like the album was like solid, but I remember the single that came off of Devastated. I remember people were like, the song's good, but it's so not Joey Badass, because admittedly, he was coming off of 1999, the mixtape. In my opinion, the best mixtape I've ever listened to. Is one of my favorite projects of all time. Like that. It felt so. But All American Badass was still good, but it definitely felt like it was taking a new direction in the sound. Like it was taking just an entirely different direction, which I don't know if a lot of people were really ready for that. I feel like this is the same thing, where Kendrick is taking such a different direction how he wants to tell the story, that that's a little more grittier. It's a little more like it's not as subtle, and I don't know if this is if it's the right way to do it. If it's the right way to approach an audience that is so used to how your music has sounded the last few years and how they remembered you. And same thing with To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly was amazing, but it's grown even bigger as the years progressed. I feel like Mr. Raw and the Big Steppers will take the same light. It does show, it's not for everyone. It's the best way to simple. It's literally not for everybody. Like it's gonna need maybe a year to really punch in. Like people can really start to appreciate it, because it's the hot thing right now. So it's gonna get criticism, because there's gonna be people who just want to be different. And then in a sense, maybe that's what they really believe. But like, I do feel like people are just gonna try to just pick it apart for the sake of picking it apart, because the reputation that Kendrick Lamar has to a lot of fans that may oftentimes not appreciate other realms of hip-hop that is not Kendrick Lamar, if that is a way to make sense. I do think Kendrick will this is also his last album that he made with TDE. I want to see what the direction of his music takes now that there's more exploring to do. And I think I really appreciate that he took some some big risks with this album, not just musically, but just in approach. Because what do we say? Because it is a fine line between, you know, keeping it fresh and also maintaining what makes you and maintaining the sound that you've helped cultivate it. I think you know, we'll just take it out. Drake is is a great artist, but he's found the formula that's going to always guarantee him Billboard hits, always going to guarantee him top spots on the charts, all that. But I feel like he's stopped taking those big chances with his albums anymore. Because admittedly, the last time he took big chances was like Views and Scorpion, and those had mixed reviews. And but also I feel like Drake gets a little more leeway because the hits will always be there for him, and you know, he's always gonna have like some crazy verse, and he's just simply more active in music than Kendrick Lamar is. But I feel like this album, give it some more time, and I feel like it will organically get the love it deserves. That's really all I have to say with this album. I like it. It's really good. It doesn't change the fact that I think it's the best hip-hop album of 2022 so far. I personally really like it. I get the criticism of it. I'm not one of those people that think that Kendrick just did it, that was flawless on this. I could clearly see where people may not like it, and I clearly may see how people may have liked other albums, and they liked Kendrick albums for different reasons. You know, I personally never seen him as the hit maker guy, but people saw him as that, and I think this is an album this is gonna be one of those albums that are really gonna age like fine wine. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for watching the video. It's all over the place. I am deeply sorry for that. I wasn't even planning on making a video today. But with that being said, yeah, take care. Have a good day. And I'm out.